Hello.
Hello, sir. Probably going to have a little bit of an echo for a second because I don't have my headphones plugged in because we have a guest for a few minutes.
Yes.
There she is in her camp mask. Neil can't see you.
What?
I cannot see you, but I know you are here, and I know it is your birthday, and happy birthday.
Hello.
He just wished you happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we're putting this in as either a bonus or a beginning. It is Stella's birthday. She requested to be on the podcast. And so there you go.
What a depressing birthday gift.
We gave her other stuff. She got other stuff.
I got a Theron mask.
Got a Theron mask, and then you got, what else did you get?
Splatoon 3.
Got Splatoon 3. What else did you get?
For my favorite author, the cartoonists.
You gotta speak up.
And then I got a beanbag chair.
Yes, she really wanted a beanbag chair. And then, anything else? You got some stuff for your Uncle Phil, right?
Mm-hmm.
This stuff might interest Neil if you tell him about him.
I got two My Hero Academia Funko Pops.
Oh, who'd you get?
I got Izuku Midoriya. There is a villain form, and Ochaku Uraraka.
I don't have either of those yet.
It will distress you to know that they are out of the case immediately and on her desk.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You know what? She's having a good time. It's okay.
Are you okay, Neil? Are you
He's a
on
collector.
drugs?
Collectors don't take stuff out of packages.
See, what ends up happening is you get to be a certain age, and then joy just goes away. So you have to keep it safe in a box somewhere so you can look at it and remember, but never experience it ever again.
That is the best description of the reason people don't take stuff out of boxes. You got something else, though, from Uncle Phil that's My Hero Academia related. What is it?
I got a My Hero Academia comic.
The manga, the first volume of the manga.
Ooh, you got the first volume.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Can I tell you something? We're on, season 3.
Yeah, we are on season
Yeah.
3. Yep.
Oh, I love that there's a Wii.
Yeah, I'm watching it with her. That's Neil's favorite anime is My Hero Academia.
I knew that.
You knew that because I told you.
Yeah. Well,
Who's your favorite character so that Neil knows?
Uchaku Uraraka, but my cartoon crush is Izuku Midoriya.
Ask him what his is.
Okay.
What is yours? What is your...
Honestly, I'm kind of a big fan of Eraserhead.
What's
The-
your
the-
cartoon crush?
Okay.
Stella.
Well, this is not a question that I thought I was gonna get, but it's not. The answer is not from My Hero.
Okay. It's
You
from
can
a
s-
different anime.
You can still tell me who it is.
Keeping in mind that she is 9. So details are sparse.
No details. No details.
I know he
Ron-
used to watch Bleach.
I did used to watch Bleach. Yeah.
Yeah. I got some Bleach stuff over
used-
here actually.
I used to actually watch Naruto.
She watched a few
That was
episodes
one I
of it.
could. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a good show that you can watch for a long time. Even you'll be a teenager by the time you get caught up on it. One Piece.
I've actually heard about that one.
I think that one's on Netflix.
For real?
I think so.
Yeah.
so.
Good luck with all 1,200 episodes that are out.
Oh, yeah.
All
Probably.
right. So, Stella, we are going to do the podcast. We wish you a happy birthday, but is it okay if we say goodbye to you now?
Of course.
All right. Well, thank you for being on. We appreciate it.
Happy birthday.
Goodbye, everyone. See ya. Catch you later.
All right, kiddo.
Is the child no longer in the room?
The child is no longer in the room.
Okay, because what's hilarious, first off, the answer to the question was Rangiku. First.
Who is this?
From Bleach. What's his name? Hitsagaya's vice captain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For very obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Two of
Yeah.
them to be precise. But what really like threw me off there for a second was she was like, "Are you on drugs?" And I'm like, "No."
That's great. She called it. She had it dead to rights. All right. Well, that was a fun start to what's going to be a terrible podcast.
Oh yes, it's going to be horrendous.
Well, why don't we go ahead and get into it? And, just to cap this off, if anybody's wondering who my favorite My Hero Academia characters are, they're, of course, the most inconsequential. That would be Sue the Frog Girl and the guy who has tape coming out of his elbows.
Oh, Saro?
Yeah, both of those, love them. Want that power, want that tape power. I think that's just so cool.
Yeah, I always forget his name, but I think the one that is actually like my legit favorite character in there. It's Red Riot, basically.
Which one's Red
His
Riot?
hero name's Red Riot. The kid with the red hair.
The one that gets hard,
hardens his body.
Yeah. I'm glad you didn't say Bakugo. That dude's a dick, and
he's a dick.
They have not explained why. I keep waiting for some sort of backstory that you can feel bad for it, and they will not tell me. I'm like, okay, I can't like this guy. Like, I know you want me to like this guy, but I can't like this guy until somebody explains why I should be liking this guy.
I will tell you, I don't think you're ever going to get resolution on that.
Okay.
I've
All right.
intentionally...
He's
I've
just an entitled
not,
dick. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I've intentionally not read any of the manga just because, like, that's how I am with that, and that's how I am with Demon Slayer. Like, I want to come into it, like, I want to watch it,
right,
and I want to watch it fresh with no expectations.
Yeah, this anime has really got her. So,
oh, it's good.
Phil Billy was looking for things to get her, and I was like, My Hero Academia, man. My Hero Academia. So he got her the first volume of the manga, and then a couple of the Funko Pops. She got very excited about them.
That's cool.
So, all right. Are we ready to do this?
We are ready to do this.
All right. Going in. 3, 2, 1.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good. It's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zach Rye with Old Man Gaming. You, dear listener, for whatever reason, have decided to listen to another horrible gaming podcast. I am not alone. Usually I am never alone. With me is...
Neil, a.k.a. Tiny Wizard.
Along for the ride on this shit show.
Yes.
We're just going to talk about one of our most hated people in the world, and that is Randy Pitchford. And anybody who even remotely pays attention to video game news will know that he is an idiot. But, like, he's dominated the news cycle, really, with his idiocy this time.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that. And that'll be probably it, because we don't have a lot of news stories, because, like I said, he's dominated kind of the news cycle. So
yeah, and everybody's holding on to everything for the Summer Fuck Fest. So
Yep. So that's what we're going to do. So buckle up, everybody. But before we get into it, we've got to thank the people who have made this possible. Behind Our Ugly Mugs is a custom graphic that's provided by Mr. Mark Bell. We thank him for that. And then, of course, the theme song for this show and all the shows here at Old Man Gaming provided by the man who makes the music, my brother Nick Van Sliders. We thank him for that. All right. We'll be right back with Fan Traction.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our first segment, our most important segment. That's Fan Traction. That's where we, the co-hosts, talk to you guys, the fans. Read out all your comments wherever you post them. I didn't see William Hoon this week, but or maybe we did, and it didn't post his stuff. Man, if it blocked him off again, that will be very frustrating. I find that. Oh no, there it is. I found it. Yay. It It's in there after all. Okay, so let's get into it. Jason, first Ubisoft steals art and offends Japan for AC Shadows. Now Bungie plagiarizes. Who's next? What's funny to me, man, is this isn't even the first stuff. Like, I struggle to find specific examples off the top of my head, but so many of these companies steal from people. And I mean, hell, day before was all just random volunteers in a hodgepodge game that didn't even get paid for their shit, There's a lot of this stuff going on in the game industry, which is just really frustrating. And what's crazy is this is the AAA stuff. This is the stuff that costs ridiculous amounts of money, and they're the ones that are plagiarizing and stealing and all this other bullshit.
It's crazy too, just to kind of go back to the conversation we were having when it comes to Marathon. I've been seeing a lot of articles lately, actually, folks calling for Bungie to just please, for the love of all that is good and holy, just delay this game, even if it's just for letting the negative press pass. Just put it back in the oven, maybe change what it is a little bit, and just delay it, because it seems like there's not much of a general appetite for that game in general. So they got to do something to get folks to really want it, and to have people actually calling for the literal opposite for it to not come out as bad.
Yeah, straight up. Jason then continues. He says, we need to do this because of these reasons. We need to do this. What do we need to do? Okay. I think maybe it cuts something, but we need to do this because of these reasons. Necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedom. It is the argument of tyrants. It is the creed of slaves. William Pitt the Younger, speech at the House of Commons, November 18, 1783. You were warned. I am not exactly sure what you are referring to, my crazy friend Jason. I think I agree. We're going to move on because I'm not exactly sure. I don't know what I'm agreeing to. Moving on to William Hoohan. Hi! Exclamation point. I don't have much to say on this one. Well, a little rant. Air Twister is being removed from Apple Arcade, and it reminded me that I am not a fan of subscription services. They can remove your games at any time, parentheses, which is somewhat also true if you buy them. Thanks for the show. Hashtag Zach's healthy for now.
For now.
I have a weird cough that won't go away still, just so that everybody knows. We had a whole podcast on this a few months ago, maybe even last year, about Game Pass and the perception of value with Game Pass. And I think we talked about this quite a bit during the whole Microsoft, when Microsoft was a bad guy. But the thing is with these subscription services, and this is just it feels like another trick. You have this Game Pass where they show you all this stuff, and they say, look at all this stuff you can get for just this price, and you can get access to all this stuff. And it's a good deal on paper. If you put it down on paper and you do the math, you think this is a great deal. But when you really, really spell out how we act as humans, how we play video games, the things we enjoy, the things we like to do, we like to come back to games. Oh, hold on. Had to sneeze. So, the things... Yeah, sorry. It just came on. The things we like to do as human, we like to go back to games. We like to replay them. That is not something a subscription service tends to facilitate. We also tend to play games, like one game for a while, and then one other game. Yes, you get access to hundreds of games for $10, but how many of those games are you actually going to play? The other thing is... Just like
cable TV.
Yes. The other thing is... and we talked about this also, when you purchase something, when you purchase something, and we're going to talk probably a lot about purchase price. That doesn't mean I think you should pay $80 for it. I'm just saying when you spend money for a game, you immediately kind of commit to playing that game for an extended period of time. You will get more out of that game. When the game is part of a subscription service, it feels free almost. Mm-hmm. And yet they're throwaway. You play, like, how many games have I downloaded from Game Pass? I played them for 20 minutes, uninstalled them, walked away from them, never to see them again. It's one of those things that, like, whereas on Game Pass, when I do find a game I love, I tend to just play that game. I just go back to that game and play that game till I'm done. And when you really think about the time cost sort of thing, it's like, well, I could have just paid $30 for this game and played this game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not playing anything else while I'm playing this game. So subscription services are kind of a magic trick for big companies, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like a little on to that, like the idea of it being throwaway and like how much you're actually going to get out of something. As I told you before, I'm kicked down to just PC Game Pass.
Yeah.
So that way, you know, I can just do whatever on my PC. Well, unfortunately, when Doom Dark Ages came out, my computer can't run it. So I went
kicked it back up to Ultimate for a little bit.
I had to kick it back up to Ultimate so I can get that. So now my plan is, once I finish Doom Dark Ages and now Clair Obscur, I'll kick back down to PC Game Pass.
I mean, PC Game Pass is the best value for the buck when you really look at it, because you get almost everything you get through Ultimate, just as long as you're playing it on PC. You know what I mean? Right. Like it's kind of crazy. We've talked about this before, where if I was a console player on Game Pass, I would be pissed at how they do the pricing and whatnot. That being said, I am hypocritical. I have PC Game Pass. I use PC Game Pass. There are games that I play through PC Game Pass. That being said, if PC Game Pass went up $2, I would drop it in a heartbeat, and then I would just purchase No Man's Sky, you know, and the 2 or 3 other games that I play through Game Pass. Not to mention the fact that those games, it seems like No Man's Sky is going to be on Game Pass for the forever because it's been on there for years, but that could go away at any time. Any month, that could just not be on Game Pass anymore. Their agreement could end, you know? And one thing we've come to understand is that Game Pass has an expiration date. There is no open-ended contracts there. Every game you see on Game Pass has an effective not going to be on Game Pass date, and whether or not they renew that contract is a different story. So, like, at any point in time, they could just not renew that contract, and that game goes away.
I mean, honestly, that's true for any sort of digital good that we have there, too.
True.
You know, that's the thing, is you have this handshake agreement because something is presented a specific way, in that, oh, you get access to all these things and this thing's going to be on here. But I mean, all that stuff is 100% subject to change. I mean, now we're getting to the point where like subscription services and digital platforms can reach in physically, like, to your device and get rid of stuff that you have on it. Remember when Sony's was going to do with something, their Discovery deal expired, and they were going to go in, and anyone who purchased episodes of certain shows and everything, they were just going to be like digitally locked out, even though they had it on their device. So I mean, it's not even like you can like hide behind the idea of, oh, well, you know, it's a license and everything like that, or, well, I have this digital thing, as long as I have it here on this hard drive, it's safe. And that's not necessarily the case anymore.
You're exactly right. I think that one other thing you've got to know is, like, to go to that effect, if Steam shuts down tomorrow, if Valve ceases to exist, the hundreds of dollars that I've put into games over there will be gone to me. I will not be able to play them anymore. Like, regardless of whether the perception is me owning these games, they won't exist because I only own them through Steam. It is a license through Steam to play these games. Every one of those games talks to Steam before it boots up. Like, that's how it works. So, like, if there's no Steam to talk to, those games don't boot up. So yeah. So let's move on though. We'll have plenty of time to talk about depressing things. We're living in a cyberpunk dystopia without the cool shit, says Jason. I can't disagree there. We're definitely getting there. We're definitely getting there. And then Jason, I will say though, what cool shit in cyberpunk? Like, there's not one thing in cyberpunk that I looked at and was like, man, I wish we had that. Like, everything's like, man. Oh,
you remember that lady whose skin was made of chrome on that TV show? Yeah, that.
I'm all right. I'm okay with normal skin. I'll take skin. I'm a flesh kind of guy.
I'll take skin. That's.
Yeah. I don't need.
That'll be the name of this. I'll take skin, please.
I don't need to fantasize / do things with a robot. I'm all right. And then finally he says, Anvil is a town in Oblivion / remastered where I'm a pirate captain of a stranded, wrecked ship in a cave. I do remember we talked about this a little bit, and I asked him what Anvil was. The only Anvil I could think of was that fucking top-down games as service robot shooter that Microsoft made for a cup of coffee, like 3 or 4 years ago, but he was talking about being a pirate ship. I reviewed it for the channel. There is a review somewhere for it.
Surge something Surge.
No, it was just called Anvil.
It was called Anvil. Okay, I'm thinking.
It's called
of
Anvil.
else.
Yeah, you're thinking of the Surge, which was like a Dark Souls, like a futuristic Dark Souls.
Yeah.
No, Anvil was like a top-down games as service shooter sort of thing, but you were like almost like a robot or a mecha or like a battle suit sort of thing. And I did a review of it. The thing that I remember most about it is that there's crates in every area where you could shoot them and get stuff, but you have to shoot. They had huge life bars, so you just be banging on these. Like, you kill all the bad guys, and then you just be banging on these crates for like 10 minutes. Okay, all right. So that ends fan interaction. Thank you, both Jason and William, for your comments. We shall move to our talking point, which is Randy Pitchford. So strap in, guys. We're going to talk very negatively about another human being, if you can call him that.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, guys, that brings us to our talking point. Randy Pitchford recently decided to, like, what's crazy about Randy Pitchford is you look back on almost every Borderlands release and he does something fucked up, like right before its release. It's kind of crazy. Like almost like they announce the game and you're just waiting for that psychotic magician to like fucking do something insane. So his insane thing for Borderlands 4 was somebody made a comment because we don't.
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, I know what it is.
The whole. Oh no, just for the context.
Somebody just begged him to not make it $80.
Well, yeah. I was gonna read it, but there's too many. Apparently, he really has been spouting the shit lately.
Oh no, yeah. I was gonna try and go through it all. I'm gonna paraphrase, but I'm gonna go through it all. Basically, to start, that we haven't gotten a Borderlands 4 price. The speculation is it's gonna be $80. There was a comment on Twitter, because all evil comes from there. On Twitter, one of the users was basically like, Randy, please don't make this $80. People are not going to pay $80 for this game. I want it to be successful. Don't make it $80. Now, there are a lot of very balanced ways to respond to this basic pleading, not even really hostile, just this basic pleading. And he responds with, A, not my call. B, if you are a real fan, you'll make it happen. I was X age, I think like teenager, like 13 or something. I wanted a $100 game for Sega Genesis. I worked my fingers to the bone to get it. If you're a real fan, you'll make it happen. Which the internet disagreed, and thoroughly. They came for him hard, and he doubled down. He just completely and totally doubled down on it. I don't remember what the double down comment was, but he still hasn't apologized, and yeah, that's where we're at right now. It's just been this insane back and forth where he has just told everybody to go fuck themselves. I'm going to tell you, man, I love it nothing more than when a millionaire tells me what it's like to be me. It's my favorite. It's my favorite thing. I love nothing more than when a millionaire tells me what it's like to be me using a reference of himself in the 90s.
Well, I mean, I guess, if anything, Randy sure truly is a certified magician, because that Borderlands 4 hype has for just about everybody. That's all people are talking about now with this game. It's all they're talking about. I mean, Nintendo announcing the fact that their games are going to be $80, possibly plus dollars, did not sit well.
I mean, that was pretty harsh too. They got some really bad backlash.
Well, and that's the thing, is everybody's now trying to find their way to make it in, but this is something that there's eventually going to get to be a point to where people are going to say that is too much, and they will not buy the thing.
Right.
I mean, think about, like, sure, they're quote unquote making extra money because they're selling the game now for $80 instead of $70. That extra $10, what the calculus, I'm sure, is what is that going to cost us in lost potential sales if it were 60 instead?
Right.
So I'm sure there's some bean counter somewhere that figured it out, and it's like, well, it'll be this much more money. I honestly think it'll be about the same. So we're still going to be hearing the boo-hooing about how games cost too much. You know, and then one of his justifications was, Borderlands 4 has double the budget of Borderlands 3. I feel like, that's kind of a lame excuse.
Well, I want to say something on that real quick before we go any further. Not to interrupt your rant. Save your place, to be continued. I just have to say this now. Why is it double the budget? It doesn't need to be double the budget. This is my problem. Like, you have a game, you have Borderlands 3 sold really good at the price it's at, for what it was. Why the fuck does Borderlands 4 have to be double the fucking budget? And I also want to just point out, I have seen no reason from seeing any trailer of this game that this game has to be double the budget.
Right.
Like, this is what I'm talking about. These games become bloated and oversaturated and overfed. You don't make a tighter experience. I don't understand why this has to be done. That's not a good excuse, because there's that's not our fault. It's not our fault that you spent too much money making your fucking game. Why is a successful game, its sequel, double the budget? Why? Why wouldn't it be the same fucking amount? Why? Like, maybe a little bit more, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, you did something with that was fine. Now you've oversaturated it, and you expect us to pay the cost when we didn't ask you to do that.
You actually kind of went straight into what I was going to say.
Sorry. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You actually probably said it a little bit better than I could have said it.
That just pissed me off so much when somebody said that.
It's also, there's also context to be had. Like, okay, it's double the budget. Why is it double the budget? Is it double the budget because you spent more time making it? Or is it double the budget because you crunched harder and you were paying more overtime? Or is it double the budget just because things are more expensive now? Like, double the budget does not mean anything other than I spent more money on this thing than I did last time. That's not an indicator of quality. And, quality, generally, you pay more for things that are higher quality. Right. So, I mean, that all kind of tracks.
Right.
I think if this game was not going to be $80, they would have quashed it immediately.
Yeah.
Because there's so much negative right now with that.
I think it's
With the
definitely going to
pricing
be
and
$80. I think it's 100% going to be $80. I don't think there's any question. I think if it's not $80, it's because of this back and forth rigmarole. I will say this. I'm just fucking so sick of people telling us that we have to pay extra because they spend more money. That is insane. We're consumers. We consume the product. You don't get to tell us what we need to spend on a thing just because you spent a lot making it. Because you didn't do your budget right, I've got to pay the bill. Oh, it's so fucking annoying. And it's so frustrating. And I'm really sick of that being the excuse, because that seems to be everybody's excuse. It's like, oh, well, we spend so much more money on it. I didn't ask you to spend more money on it. Borderlands 3, I want another game. And again, you were talking about some reasons that could be double budget. It certainly is in time. The time between 2 and 3 is like, what, a 10-year turnaround? Maybe more?
I think, yeah, something like
3
that.
to 4 is what, 5 years? Like it's nowhere near 10 years at this point. So like, what?
They basically started making it the second they stopped the DLC for 3.
So it's not time spent in. So like, I don't know. I'm very upset with all of this behavior. And I'm really upset with these companies being so standoffish about it, especially in the economic disaster that we are in as a country right now, that you just expect like our poor asses to come up with this money. We don't have it. Like, stop making shit so expensive. And I'm not saying that from a point of like, price-wise. I mean, stop making them so big. Like, every game on my list, and I don't know if this is going to make it in. It was in a bonus, but I was saying that, like, every time I do my Horrible Game Awards stuff, I make a little list, and then I get 3 nominations per category. When I see a game that I like in a category, I put it in there, and then when I see another game, if the category is full, I move something out and put it in, or I decide to leave it off. None of those games are AAA games. Like, none of them. They're all AA games. And, like, there's just no reason for this, you know?
And I feel like that's really kind of where we're getting to. Like, I mean, think about it. We have Grand Theft Auto 6 that apparently is such a huge drain for Rockstar that when they delayed it, the stock price changed. Mm-hmm. There's an immense amount of money put into some of these games like that. You know, all these games now are just these crazy, just massive teams. I mean, Rockstar, again, you know, a whole team just to do the horse testicles in Red Dead. Like, why do we need these things? I mean, hell, you can take a look and see what they've been doing in the indie space when it comes to just like pixel art and everything like that. Those sorts of games. You know, that's a team of what, maybe 20 people, 30 tops.
Yeah.
They don't need hundreds and thousands of people for, you know, have one dude somewhere doing just like, this is the image quality of like a boot on a character. Like, there's one guy that does that. Like, it's too much for us to, let's be honest, like, especially in my case, go through a single player narrative driven game one time and then maybe a couple years from then come back to it another time, you know, here and there. You know, it's a one-time purchase in the end, but it's not getting an additional return on any sort of investment. They truthfully should, like in Borderlands case, I think that they would maybe even get more press if they found a way to make it free to play and just do a live service thing with it. Because they can have their cake and eat it too at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I am really getting, I'm so put off by AAA games right now. It's absolutely insane. Like, I have no interest in any of them. And like, you look at like the games that are like top selling on Steam. You know, like that. Like, I think one of the top selling games on Steam has been Precinct. It's a fucking top down indie cop simulator. Like you get these plays from stuff like half the people out there playing games like Power Wash Simulator. And, like, we're worrying about, you know what I mean? Like, we're worrying about fucking Borderlands. Like, it's not even in the trend. And that's another thing. It just goes to this, like, company mentality of over-bloated prices. And they've regulated all their shit into this area where we're balanced on this needle's edge at all times, that anything that changes, the market could crash. We've got to keep raising these prices to shell out games that are getting lower and lower returns because people are starting to say no, i.e. Suicide Squad. Like, people are starting to be like, hey, we don't want this shit anymore, man. And, like, I think we're going to see more and more and more of that. Really, I do.
Yeah, I mean, it is getting a bit more widespread. You know, you used to only hear about a game failing really hard every, like, 2 years or so. Now I feel like there's 1 or 2, sometimes more, in any given year anymore. A game that's got all this money dumped into it. Usually, I mean, a lot of them are just trash, uninventive live service games that don't actually do anything other than the thing that somebody else did, but again. That's kind of the cycle that we're in, and, like, this is the sort of stuff that we talk about, you know. It's almost like you've always mentioned, you know, that there's a crash on its way. I mean, you look at it, it kind of starts to mirror some of those same crashes of the previous video game crash in the 80s. You know, overspending on production, and just like trend chasing and thinking, you know, oversaturation. It's all there. And the prices keep going up and up and up on top of that. Like, it's gonna crash again.
There has to be a point. There's going to be a point where the normal average person cannot get their hands on the things that they are selling. And this speaks to something else. This is this base problem, like, just in America in general. Like, when did we all lose our fucking empathy? When did we lose the ability, even as rich people, to look at somebody and understand that they're a human dealing with stuff, you know? Like, when did we lose that? You've got this Randy Pitchford, and, like, his first response is, I made it happen when I was a kid, working my fingers to the bone to get a $100 Sega Genesis game. Yeah, but that's the lack of empathy. Why wouldn't you want to make it easier for somebody else? Why wouldn't you look at your experience and go, man, it was really hard for me. It doesn't need to be hard for other people. When did we collectively, like, especially these billionaires, lose the ability to be like, why don't we try and make it better for the people that come after us? Like, it's weird. We're in this mentality where, like, it's almost like we're angry at the next generation or the generation after. Like instead of trying, like, the whole idea of everything, of the human race was like, let's make it better for the next people, right? That's what we've been doing since then. That's where all of our technology has come from. Let's make it better for the people down the road. Now we're at this point where it's like, fuck them. Like, why? Like, that's the whole point. Let's make it better for them. Like, I don't understand. Like, you're immediately standoffish with your entire fan base right off the bat. And your response is, I had to do it. You gotta fucking do it. Why, man? Why do you gotta make other people do that? Why do you gotta make them feel pain? Like, I mean, I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I don't have a ton of money. So I can't imagine. So maybe there is some switch that gets flipped in your brain when you get to a certain, you know, global price, whatever accumulation. But, like, I would feel like if I got there, I'd be like, man, I don't want to make somebody do that shit. I don't want to make somebody else, like, if they, like, live in an apartment in a room above somebody else's house, you know, like, because they don't have enough money. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just so frustrating to me with this guy because he looks at it like, fuck everybody, and he just gives them all the middle finger. Why? What does that do for you? What does that do for them? What does that do for the industry? What does that do for your company? Nothing. It just makes everybody mad. Yourself included. I don't understand the point of that.
Yeah, and honestly, at this point, too, given the fact that this has gone as far as it has, I feel like my cynical self is like, he's just trolling.
Yeah,
To
in
do
a lot of
free
ways.
marketing. Like, he's
Well,
just
that's
trolling to
possible.
do free marketing, which is even worse if that's the case.
I mean, it's
because
sad,
of
but that's
all
a
the
trend too.
things.
You're right. It's sad, but that's a trend too. There's a lot of people that I'm just going to make people mad, and those people will remember the game, and they'll buy it just to hate it, you know?
Right. There's no, unfortunately, there's no changing what is going to happen. At this point, the only thing that you can have is like a full reset in the form of like a crash, because it was already bad enough. You know, I remember when games were only $50 out of a box, and that feels like ancient goddamn history. You know, back in the days of like Nintendo 64, GameCube, and stuff like that. But then the games did slowly, they went up to the $60 with like the Xbox 360, PS3, and everything like that. And I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Why do these things cost so much? And then, you know, sure enough, whenever I get my PS5 and I get my copy of Horizon, it's $70, and I said, "Oh my God, this is so expensive. Why are these things so much?" It's the old frog in the hot pot thing.
Yeah.
There
There is a concrete difference though, and that difference is those increases were directly related to inflation, and when inflation goes up, it means that everybody is technically got more money. Like, that's the whole idea behind it, because there's more money in your country. Like, that's what inflation is. It means that more money exists in the country. It's in circulation. So the inflation goes up, which means all the price goes up because of supply and demand. So theoretically, with inflation, your paychecks go up. So you have more money to spend on the thing that's price has raised. I don't have a problem with inflation. I mean, well, I don't like inflation, but like, I don't have a problem with inflation price raises, right? Nobody's making any more money though. We don't collectively make that much more money than we did like 10 years ago or whatever. So like, these prices are not inflation based. They are overspending based, and that is the problem that I have with them.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. You know, I was actually listening to there's this guy that I follow on YouTube. I think I've mentioned to you before. His name's Frost. Basically, it's called Cold Take. He does, his whole thing is like a talking head thing, like a video essay, but his voice is that of like a detective in like the 40s or 50s, like with the slow jazz music behind and everything like that.
I gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really great. But he makes a lot of good points. And that's the thing that he was saying is, you know, when it comes to like the cost of everything, you can only deal with so much of it, and when the costs go up, you have to ask why it is that the costs are going the way that they're going. You know, it's crazy that a game has to sell like multiple, like tens of millions of copies for it to be considered a success. You know, meanwhile, back in the day, you could have a game sell 2 million copies and it would be just like, hey, that's it. That's all we need.
Right.
Because these budgets are so crazy out of control when it comes to making these games. You know, you have to sell just a ludicrous amount. The game could be good. The game could be great. But if it doesn't sell enough to make its money back, it's always going to be deemed a failure.
Yep. That's why you look at it, you know, the difference between an inflation raise and this. You just look at the fact that like the amount of games that these companies have to sell is ludicrous. Like, because they have spent insane amounts of money on these games. So like, I don't know. We're in a weird situation with games. I don't know. I think we're done. I don't know how much more I can yell at the internet about this. I think we're done. I think we all have covered it. Randy Pitchford's a jerk, and that's about it. I am saying this. I am making the declaration. I will be boycotting Borderlands 4 because of this. It is going on my boycott list. I'm not playing it. I'm not purchasing it. I will have nothing to do with this game. I will be honest. It did not look that interesting to me. I'm a little bit done with the Borderlands thing after Tiny Tina's and my experience there. But that being said, it's officially on my no-go list, no-fly list.
I'm thinking for me, it'll be a Steam discount pickup.
And that's fine. I would implore you to not pay a full fucking $80 for this. And I'd implore everybody out there to not pay a full fucking $80 for anything, really. If you want the game prices to come down, or if you don't want them to go up, I have said this 1,000 times. These people do not listen to Reddit threads. They do not listen to tweets other than to fight with them randomly. They do not listen to Facebook messages. They do not listen to anything other than money. And the only way to vote is to take their money away. Period. If you don't want a price to go up, don't buy that game. Period. Period, 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 period. End of story. No matter how good it is, no matter how much hype they hurl into your face, you've got to say no, because until we start saying no to these price hikes, they're just going to keep happening. That's the way it is. All right. We don't have any news, as we said before, so we're just going to go to plugs, and then we're going to wrap this thing up.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it brings us to the end of the show and the shameless self-promotion that comes with it. Neil, you got some stuff to plug this time, baby.
We did it. We finally did it. We finally finished the
against
last
what seemed
episode,
to be all odds.
Literally all odds in game and in real life. All odds were against us, and we did it. Yeah, that has been finished up. We actually managed to do that about a week ago. And
he's speaking of Ordo Scriptorium. He has not said the title.
Oh, I didn't say.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, it's about the only thing that I plug on a regular basis. So, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know, and if you don't, watch it.
It will come out on Spotify and YouTube. The first episode of the second half of the second hunt should have come out already when you guys are watching this as of Memorial Day. And then the next 2 Mondays it will come out. Like I said, both Spotify and YouTube. You can watch it on Spotify. It's a video podcast, so however you want to watch it, have fun. It was a very interesting game session. If you are into that actual play, it definitely changes the complete and total landscape of that game whatsoever. It was very interesting. We are going to do some Lasso 3 streams coming up here soon. Very excited about what we're probably going to be playing. So stay tuned for that. As far as I am concerned, Ordo's out. We've got Wizard's Respite Sanctorum is also back. That the episode will be coming out this Friday. And then stay tuned, because we are on the book scheduled for Astral Drive. If you're a TTRPG fan, we should be having new episodes of that in the coming months, which I am very excited for. As far as the video game side, like I said, we're going to have the Lasso stream back. I don't have any reviews on the horizon. I tried to review a couple of games. They didn't speak to me in a way that like I even wanted to review them. So I don't have anything there, but we'll probably have something soon coming out. Otherwise, stay tuned to the channel. I'm about to hit summer. I'm a school bus driver, so I'm about to hit summer, which will give me more time. Oh, and I'm streaming again. On Wednesdays, I am streaming again. The lunch stream is back. Currently, I'm playing Age of Wonders 4 again. Playing their newest DLC, The Giant King, so check that out, which is really fun. You guys can also contact us. Well, honestly, just join our Discord. Links in the description below. Influence us there. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook, but I barely go on there anymore. You can also check us out on Blue Sky. You have to search for Axiom Games LLC /Old Man Gaming. As long as you guys keep watching, keep listening, keep making them. We'll see you guys next time. Pause.
So I have to. I meant to actually message you about this.
Okay.
I finally I played a game the other day that has like completely come out of left field for me.
Okay.
Having known basically nothing about it until its launch, and is like 100% like my game of the year right now.
What's the game? I'm excited.
Claire Obscure.
Oh. Okay. All right, you basic bitch. Okay. I was expecting something so much more crazy.
No.
And then you come up with
no.
basically everybody's game of the year, which is Claire Obscure.
So here's what happened. Like, obviously, like, I've heard like a bunch of stuff about
Yeah.
it. Like, oh, I'll have to try it out. I have to try it out. The usual, me doing my bullshit. And I was mowing the lawn the other day, and I just have like, sometimes I'll just have like a Discover playlist going, and it'll sometimes, depending on what I've been listening to, like go into different genres and stuff. And one of these songs from the game popped up, and I'm like don't know what it is until I pull my phone out and take a look at it as I'm mowing the lawn. I'm like, maybe I will try that game. And it's like that, immediately. It is this weird hodgepodge. It's like,
Yeah. I followed it a
Persona.
little bit.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
play it. It's just like, for me, I'm just not into that like extremely narrative sort of thing, like a
Yeah.
Persona or a JRPG. Like, you can't create a character. There's nothing like unique to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just
Right.
doesn't strike the Zack chords. But I will say, the combat system is phenomenal. I know enough without even playing it to know that they really kind of like took an old concept and like made something sweet out of it,
Yeah. It is that the one thing though is I haven't changed the difficulty on it yet because I've just started on standard difficulty.
Okay.
Holy shit, is it hard as balls? Oh my god. Like right out of the gate, like your characters have like 150 HP, and if you get hit once, it takes like 75. It's like fucking crazy. So you basically have to do the parrying, you have to do the dodging, and getting the timing down is kind of tough. But it's one of those hard games. It's like when you get it right, and you get through a battle, and I've not gone through without taking damage yet, but every single time you get through a battle, it's like, oh yes, I did it. Like you feel something, not like, oh, it's hard to be hard. Like I could have done this a different way, and I could have actually made this easier on myself, but with practice I could get better. That game, dude, out of absolutely fucking nowhere. Fantastic.
Well, that's awesome, man. Put it on your list. Remember it.
Oh,
for
it's
the end
going to
of
be
the
on
year.
the list. Oh, it's
Remember
going
it for the
to.
end
So
of the
actually, I'm doing the end of year a little bit different this year because I always like just try to, when we do all of our voting, I just like think back on it at that point. I'm like, what all did I play?
Bad
and I
choice.
forget half the shit. Yes. So now I've started to keep track.
For the last 3 years, I think it was 3 years ago I started doing this. I opened a notepad on my phone, and every time I play a game that I really like, I go in and I look at each category because you can only nominate 3, and I'm like, is it better than the 3 that I already have on the list? If it is, I mark one off and then I put it on, and that's what I do throughout the entire year. So, and what's crazy about this year, and I know that people aren't really saying this, but I feel like this year has been a banger so far, especially for like indie games, like lower class indie games have just been awesome. Like my list is full right now. It is every fucking list on my list, every category on my list is full. I've had to make cuts repeatedly. Like
I'm honestly surprised that this year has turned out the way that it has, because I had no hope going into this year after the year that we had basically year before last, when Baldur's Gate and everything came out.
Well, last year everybody whined about that one. I liked last year because we got a lot of crazy ass indie stuff and remakes, but I feel like this year is a stealth banger, you know?
Yeah, stealth. That's exactly what it is. It's a stealth banger. And honestly, now that Grand Theft Auto got delayed out, like it's actually gives all these games a chance to actually live.
I completely agree. And it's not even just that. Like, there's so many good indie games right now that you can just like latch onto. Like, I have really been enjoying like a lot of like nothing that's on my list is AAA, but they are just like awesome little fucking projects that somebody's made that's just sweet, you know?
You know what actually reminds me too? I forgot to mention to you. I did pick up, because we talked about this before. I picked up Tricky Towers on Steam when it was on sale.
Yeah, I saw you playing it through Discord.
Oh,
awesome,
God.
isn't it?
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It's. I love that it's Tetris, but not.
Yeah.
Like it gives you all the feels of Tetris, but it's the actual stack part.
Yep.
Because
Yep,
I do
yep.
a toxic thing when I'm playing Tetris. I want to make sure that there's no empty space anywhere. And this, you basically have to do it like
You
that.
have to do it. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Tricky Towers is a lot of fun. A lot of
Yeah,
fun.
I love it.
All right. Well, let's get into fan interaction, sir.
Yes.
All right.
Man, what if you did name the episode "I'll Have the Skin, Please"?
Have the skin, please. That's a good one. That's better than what I was gonna name the episode.
What were you gonna call it?
We have this running joke on the wrestling show. Me and Jeremy, because there's a wrestler named Randy Orton who is just very mischievous. He's a crazy person, sort of thing. He'll just RKO everybody, which is his finisher, just randomly, for no apparent reason. And so we started making this joke that's like, "That's Randy," like it was like a "That's So Raven" sort of thing, like
Yeah.
like because in the game, because we watch our matches, so in the game, like randomly that the digital Randy Orton will just like RKO the ref for no reason. So we're like, "That's Randy." So I was gonna name this episode "That's Randy," but I didn't want to make that joke depressing. So
So we'll go with the skin one instead. Okay.
which was it? I'll have the flesh, please. I think
I'll have skin, please.
I'll have skin, please. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna make a note of that. I'll have. I can't believe if somebody came down here after I was dead and was just investigating. Like, yeah, he's got some weird notes on his. I'll have skin, please, and
Requesting skin. I don't know what the hell.